Follow Your Art, an art journal page by Karen Burchill. This is one of my contributions to the hashtag Thankful for Art, a CAC event. Techniques used using homemade sprays, lifting off through a stencil, texture paste through a stencil, shading, enlarging stamped images, using a liner brush for details. Here's a list of the materials that I've used. I will attach a link to the video making homemade sprays. So I have my Wilton homemade sprays here, and I am going to spray on 3 different colors. I have a yellow and a red and a burgundy, and I'm spraying them on. It looks much darker than it really was in real life. I also sprayed on some of my pearlized paints that I mixed with water and Martha Stewart's acrylic paint. So I'm just kind of drying this, trying to get some drippage and interesting colors. So I played back and forth with the colors as I progressed till I got a color that I liked. Trying as I go, cleaning up. Unfortunately, sprays always seems to make a mess, or at least when I do them. Removing some of the puddles, adding more yellow. Today I wanted to get away from my blues and my teal backgrounds and pinks and mauves, and so doing something in a very different color palette than what I'm used to. But I was just called to make this page. So I have the Donna Downey bubble stencil, and I'm just taking a baby wipe and very gently removing some of the homemade spray through the stencil. I find that if your baby wipe is too wet, it leaks under. So I had taken out the baby wipe a little bit earlier, and I'm just rubbing back and forth over the areas, the various sizes of bubbles. At the end, you don't see a whole lot of this, but it does add that little layer of transparency and depth. And with art journaling, that's what it's all about. It's where the whole is greater than the sum of its parts. So I have the Crafters Workshop Art Is stencil, and I'm debating whether to go vertically in my art journal or going horizontally. So I'm deciding back and forth where I want the focal point to be. So I grab my Liquitex modeling paste, my flexible modeling paste, and then I decide that, well, it's almost empty. So I have from Home Hardware drywall compound. That whole big bucket cost under $6, and I'm applying it with a credit card, holding the stencil down. I'm quite happy with how it ended up. Most of the letters, very little seepage underneath the stencil. Now I'm looking at the color wheel because I'm not sure what I'm going to do next. And analogous colors are the 5 colors that go to each other. So I have the 3 on the one side. So it's telling me I can go to the violet, to the purple side. And I'm not exactly sure, so when in doubt, edge something. So I go to grab a baby wipe to rub this off, and I realize that my homemade sprays are not permanent. they reactivate with water. So now I'm just wetting my fingers and rubbing a little bit to activate the neo color to my black that I'm edging with. And I'm trying to think of what color I want to color my focal point as I'm doing this. I'm looking at my acrylic paints that are off to the left. I'm looking at my Neocolor 2 crayons. Now, the stamp right here, this is a hot off the press stamp that said follow your art. And what I did is I stamped it, blew it up on a copier, scanned it, and then printed it out onto deli paper. So that's one way I've enlarged and increased the usability of stamps that I own. So I'm applying Lindy's Starburst spray. I think it's a poinsettia gold color, and it has a gold shimmer and the red color. So I applied it at the top and let it drip down. Now I'm applying it at the bottom and letting it drip up. Drip isn't something that I do a lot of, so I wanted to do that technique as well. Bring it out from, wipe off the cobwebs. The Art is stencil is also another stencil that I've had for a long time and I've only used once. So my goal was to use something I haven't used and try something I haven't tried lately. Every once in a while we get comfortable, and so I put away pretty much my acrylic paints in this, and I'm working totally different mediums and totally different techniques. And that's why I'm so thankful for doing these videos, because if I'm taking the time to make a video, I don't want them all to be the same. I want them to be different. So it challenges me to do something different. So I'm just drying the Lindy sprays, and I'm realizing I probably shouldn't have put the edging on, because now it kind of activated with the Lindy spray. Not much, not so bad. So I did spray this with Krylon workable fixative, because I realized to glue the pictures on, I would activate both the Lindy spray and my homemade spray. So as much as I do not like using the workable fixative, as it can cause me some migraines, I did do a quick spray outside. The Krylon spray dries fairly quickly. So I'm going to be adhering this with my golden gel medium. It's a matte finish. Another reason why I do not want to put it on my background, because I want to see that shimmer, and the matte finish will kind of erase that. So I'm just being a little careful here, not putting it directly on anywhere that's going to be shown on my background. I really like the textures and the effects that I've got going on, and I don't want to jeopardize that at all. So the butterfly wasn't part of the Follow Your Art stamp. It was from a different stamp set that I did the same way. I stamped it and blew it up and scanned it, and now I have a file that I can print off onto whatever papers I choose. I like using the deli paper, as it tends to become very translucent, and you can see the colors coming through. So right now I'm thinking, do I want to paint the heart and the A in the Art? You know, there's my color wheel again, and I'm looking and I'm saying, okay, I can go the purple and the violet route. So I still can't decide. So I'm thinning some black acrylic paint in a palette, a porcelain palette dish here, and I'm just tracing out the follow your part. I apologize that it's off screen right now. But I'm just using a liner brush and the thinned acrylic paint. So my battery died right about now, or shortly after this, somewhere after, but I had also painted the word art and darkened it up just to make it pop. So you can see that the R and the T are a little bit done. So now I'm painting the swirls again with the liner brush. You can do this with a micron pen or a gel pen if that's what you have and you feel comfortable with. I'm quite comfortable using my liner brush with thinned paint. Just make sure you thin your acrylic paint if you're going to attempt that. And the liner brush tends to get clogged, so I do wash it frequently, rinse it out so that it doesn't get clogged. So a little bit more outlining and highlighting with the black acrylic thinned paint. Drawing in between so I don't rub my hand into the wet paint and smudge everything up. You have to be a little extra careful when you're doing a project that the background isn't done with acrylic paints, because your ability to erase it is lessened. And even though I've sprayed the workable fixative, I don't want to put it to the chance of having to go and wipe up a mess, especially with black paint. So just doing the butterfly. And I'm using a Neocolor too. I'm putting an orange on top of it, activating it with water. I just want a little bit of different color. I want to bring back the yellow that I sprayed, and I want this butterfly to just pop a little bit from the rest of the images on the page. And I've got some gold paint that I had thought about painting the A with, and I just put that on top of the butterfly. And now I'm just going to use my liner brush to line the butterfly. And I'm just filling in, not very exactingly, the highlights. I'm really liking how the black on the edging and the black that I've outlined on the words is really making this page pop. And about now I'm thinking I'm not adding any other color. I'm not adding the purple and the violet. I'm just going to have it very much as is. Just the black and the yellow, orange, red colors that have been made by my sprays. So I have my Inktense pencil here in ink black, and I'm just outlining, and then I'll be activating right around it just to make it pop just that little bit more. I don't want it too wide or too much or whatever, so I want to build it up a little bit. Doing the same to the butterfly. It's these little things that really raise the page from one level to the next. A little more shading in the butterfly. Then I'm going to, after quickly drawing this, I'm going to apply some diamond stickles just to the body of the butterfly. Thank you so much for watching this video and watching all my videos and subscribing. I'm so thankful that I get to share my art with all of you. Thank you.